Hello students. In today's lecture, we will study the pedigree analysis. And for the study of pedigree analysis, first we have to know the basics of the pedigree analysis. So here a square is denoted for the male individual. A circle is denoted as female individual. Then when the circle and the rectangle is covered by black color, this is indicating for the affected individual. And when there is a line present between the two, this is for married couple. And here a diagram like this represents two generations. So this one is the first generation and this one is the second generation. These two are the parent and these three are offspring. So this is all about the basics of pedigree analysis. Now in the questions of pedigree analysis, 5 types of conditions may be possible. The first one is the autosomal dominant condition. For example, the disease called Huntington disease. Huntington disease. Then the second thing is the autosomal recessive condition. For example, the cystic fibrosis and sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia. Okay. Then the third thing is X-linked dominant. For example, the fragile X syndrome. Then the fourth thing is X-linked recessive. For example, hemophilia and color blindness. Hemophilia and color blindness. Okay. And Y-linked disease such as hypertrichosis of the ears, then web toes. And we will discuss in this lecture that how to identify these different conditions. Okay, so let's see. The first one is the autosomal dominant condition. And to identify the autosomal dominant, the first thing to notice is that there will be no skip of generation. No skip of generation means the disease will be present in every generation. Then the second thing is here when both the parent is affected, it may produce unaffected child or unaffected offspring. And another thing is that here male and female, they are almost equally affected. So in this case, if we consider capital A as the dominant and small a as the recessive, so the capital A will denote the affected condition. Also the capital A small a will denote the affected condition. affected condition, and the small a, this will be responsible for the unaffected condition. Unaffected condition in the dominant case, because one dominant capital A or autosome is responsible for the disease. So here in the pedigree, the mother will be capital A small a and the father will be capital A small a, because here two of their children are unaffected. So this will be small a, this will be small a, and the affected individual will be either capital A, or it can be capital A small a. Okay, and she is married to a male with normal small a genotype, and is resulted in the capital A small a and capital A small a of diseased offspring. So here we can see the disease in every generation. This is the generation 1, this is generation 2, and this is generation 3. We can see the disease in every generation. Disease in every generation. Then also here we can see when both parents are affected, here unaffected offspring can be present, and here no male or female preference, male or female almost equally affected. So this was all about the autosomal dominant trait. Then the second thing is the autosomal recessive condition. Okay, so to identify the autosomal recessive condition, first thing is that in the pedigree chart there will be skip of generation. Skip of generation. Okay, so as we can see here in the generation 1, there is no diseased individual. Then in the generation 2, there is a diseased female present. In the generation 3, there is also no diseased individual. Okay, and also here in the case of autosomal recessive, both unaffected or both normal parent, they can produce diseased individual. Diseased individual. Okay, and also here in this case, the male and female, they are almost equally affected without any preference. Almost equally affected. Okay, so in the case of recessive trait, the capital A homozygous, this will be normal, unaffected. Then capital A small a, this will be also normal, but this will be carrier. And lastly, the small a homozygous recessive condition will be responsible for the disease and the individual will be affected. Now, if we see the pedigree here both the parents are with heterozygous condition. As a result, one of their child is affected. Then when this female is married to a normal male, it resulted in the heterozygous genotype. So here we can see that both normal parent can produce diseased individual, which is this one. Okay, so this was all about the autosomal recessive trait. Then the case of X-linked dominant trait. X-linked dominant. So here, in this case, there will be no skip of generation. no skip of generation. Also, in the case of X-linked dominant, the disease is transferred from the father to the daughter only. To the daughter only. So, in the case of X-linked dominant condition, the disease is transferred from the father to the daughter only. Then, other condition is that the female individual or the mother, they can transfer the disease to the son and the daughter equally. Son and the daughter. Now, suppose if the XA is the diseased X chromosome. So when the condition is XAY for the male, this is diseased. And for the female, when the female has a genotype of XAX, she will be diseased or affected. Also, in the homozygous condition, when the genotype is XAXA, she will be affected. Then, in the condition when the XA gene is absent, it will be normal. So, this condition will signify the normal individual, and this is also the normal individual. Now, if we see the pedigree here, the diseased male will have the XAY genotype. The mother will have normal XX genotype, and here all the daughters are affected with the XAX, this genotype, and the son will be with the XY genotype, where the X is coming from the mother, from the normal mother, and the Y is coming from the father. And here mostly an affected father can transmit the disease to the daughter only. Okay, and we can see that there is no skip of generation. The disease condition is present in every generation. So this was all about the X-linked dominant condition. Then the fourth condition is the X-linked recessive condition. Recessive condition. And here in this condition, we can see skip of generation. Skip of generation. Then here we can see that the disease is mostly transferred from the mother to the son. And when the mother is affected, her all son will be affected. All son is affected. And when the mother is unaffected, but she is carrier, then the chance of his son affected is 50%. So 50% chance that her son will be affected. And here in this case, in this type of X-linked recessive condition, we can see that male individuals are affected in high number. Okay, so here for the female, the XH, XH, this will be diseased. Okay. And the XHX, this will be carrier, normal, but normal. And the normal XX, this will be normal for the female individual. And for the male individual, the XHY will be diseased and the normal XY will be in normal condition. So this one is for the female and this one is for the male. Okay. Now here if we see the pedigree, here the mother is affected. So the mother will be with XH, XH phenotype or genotype. And the father will be normal, means XY. Here all the son is affected with the XHY, this condition. XHY, then XHY. And the daughter will be here XHX, means she will be carrier. This daughter will also be carrier. And when she is married to a normal male individual, it resulted in 50% of diseased son and 50% of normal son. And here the daughter may or may not be carrier. Okay, so this was all about the X-linked recessive condition. Now the last condition is the Y-linked condition, Y-linked diseased condition. In this condition, only males will be affected. Only males are affected. And here the disease is transmitted from the father to the son. Okay. Then there will also be no skip of generation. No skip of generation. Okay. So suppose here the genotype of the father is XYA. So YA is responsible for the diseased Y link. So this will be affected male. Affected male. Okay. And here the affected male is this one with the Y-linked disease. And the mother will be normal with XX genotype. Here the female ones will be with XX normal genotype. And all of the son of the father, affected father, will be with the Y-linked disease. So here the genotype will be XYA. Okay. And when this diseased male is married to a female, in the third generation, his son will be also affected with the Y-linked disease. Okay. So here in this case, all the male individual will be affected if the father is affected. And there will be obviously no skip of generation. So we can see the Y-linked disease in every generation. So this was all about the Y-linked condition and also the easy tricks to identify the pedigree chart. So I hope this was helpful.
To learn difficult concept of physics, chemistry and biology within few minutes to crack NEET and JEE with fun, like, share and subscribe our new YouTube channel ShantU. You will get conceptual videos, highly effective notes, short tricks, mock tests and much more. Hope we shall meet there.